Good evening, everybody. It's about 10:30 here on a beautiful Tuesday night in Denver, Colorado. For me, David's out in Virginia. We are the Double Down Sports Betting Podcasts. I'm Dale, and that's David, and we're going to run through the NFL slate here. So I'm going to kick it over to him to get us started.
All right. Welcome to episode 1 of the Double Down Sports Betting Podcast. We'll cover the NFL slate for week 11. I know it's better late than never, right? So, so let's kick it off with the Thursday night game. Sorry, let me adjust my camera real quick. So we have the New England Patriots facing off against the Atlanta Falcons. The spread is 7. I believe it opened up at 5.5.
Wow.
So personally, I like the Patriots to cover the spread. So I like Patriots -7. It looks like they've covered the last 5 of their last 6 games. Atlanta has looked awful their last game against Dallas. I don't know. They just laid a goose egg.
Yeah, that pick bit me.
Yeah. And Cordell Patterson is banged up as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's questionable. I think he's going to play, but he's been a focal point of their offense.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I can't figure this Atlanta team out. You know, they drafted Kyle Pitts. He looks like he could be a major impact for them, but they haven't been using them correctly.
Right. Up and down and consistent, but that's not because of him. They're just not getting him the ball.
Yeah. And I don't know if Matt Ryan is done. He's not young anymore. And also his wide receiving core has been, non-existent at this point. I think Russell Gage, and who's their other receiver that they had? He went on a
Ridley.
Yeah, really.
He hasn't really played much this year.
No, he hasn't. I think he's dealing with mental health issues, so he took time off. So Patriots defense has looked amazing. They've been shutting down teams. I know Stevenson has looked great in the run game, and I think Harris is coming back this week as well. So, my pick is Patriots -7.
So you like them to cover, huh?
Yeah, I do like them to cover. I know it's a short week. Thursday night games are always dicey. But I know. But if I had to choose, I think defense carries. So defense travels. So I'm going to take the Patriots.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was going to lead off with it. The Thursday night games, you just never know what's going to happen. So that line, with the way Atlanta looked this past week, the injuries and other issues they're dealing with, just flat out overall inconsistency on offense, and then just a sieve of a defense. It's hard to go against New England here. I like to play devil's advocate when I can, but I just don't see any way that Atlanta can stay in this game outside of the fact that it is a Thursday night, and crazy things happen on Thursday night, especially for the home teams. They usually have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, they do.
There's just not just. Atlanta's just I don't see it. So I'm gonna have to agree with your pick on this one.
Yeah,
New England -7.
Yeah, and they looked I don't know. They looked so bad against Dallas. It looked like they gave up. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the morale of the team, how they looked on the bench. So
from the top down, they looked like they gave up. The coach was just, so I get it.
But what's I know Dallas's defensive coordinator used to be the head coach of Falcons. So that could have also been a deciding factor. He could have schemed well against Matt Ryan. So, but I can't go against this Patriots defense right now. Okay, so I think we're in agreement there. So Sunday, 1:00. Next game on the docket is the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. Spread is 2.5, favoring Green Bay. It's in Minnesota. why not 3? Why is it spread 2.5? It seems kind of like a trap,
Yeah.
personally. But and it is a division game. But I mean, this past week, a lot of the 2.5 point favorites covered. I believe Kansas City covered. I know Tennessee did not cover, but the Patriots also covered. But yeah, divisional game. It's a 1:00 game, so I think Kirk Cousins will actually play well since it's not a primetime game.
Good point. Good point.
You know, it's a day game, so there's less pressure on him. So and they've been leaning on Dalvin Cook, and I wasn't impressed with Aaron Rodgers this past week. I know he's coming off COVID. I don't know if he has COVID brain or like he's feeling any ill effects. He didn't throw a touchdown. He had 1 interception. And Green Bay, Aaron Jones is out. He's injured. AJ Dillon has looked pretty well in his spot, but is he better than Aaron Jones? I mean, I think he's a different type of runner. I would still give the edge to Aaron Jones. So 2.5, I'm gonna take the underdog here. And the Vikings, they play close games. They came off a big. I feel like it was a big win. I feel like Zimmer has been coaching for his job. I mean, there was one primetime game that I saw earlier this year. Like I thought he was like one of the worst coaches ever versus the Cowboys. Because he was playing very conservatively, and they lost against the backup quarterback, Cooper Rush, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's adjusted the last couple of weeks, played well versus Baltimore. They could have won that game, went to overtime. And then they showed up versus the Chargers. And the Chargers offense, they limited them to, I believe, less than 20 points. So yeah, and their head-to-head meetings, Minnesota actually won their last game versus them last year. They split the games last year. And yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't know until Aaron Rodgers looks completely in sync. I'm gonna take the Vikings here plus 2.5.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised by your pick. You're an Aaron Rodgers guy, so I was sure you're going to go with Green Bay. But like you said, this line is fishy. It's pretty much a pick 'em with Minnesota struggling this year and Green Bay at 8-2. I mean, everything is pointing to, and the public is all over Green Bay too. But I couldn't agree more. I think, frankly, this is a get-right game for Minnesota. I think this is the point where they turn their season around. They're going to go out there and I think handily beat Green Bay. So that 2.5, that's just some bonus on top of what they're already going to do, in my opinion. I think that defense is going to hold Aaron Rodgers. And then with Aaron Jones being out, the rest of their receiving core is mediocre outside of Adams. And, Minnesota can blanket him and force Aaron Rodgers to look elsewhere, which he does not like to do. I don't know if y'all remember that game earlier this season where Adams got hurt, clearly concussed, and then they put him back on the field because Aaron Rodgers just didn't want to throw to anybody else. So
and he had a big play after too.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand why they did it, but the man risked his life. But that's the recipe to beat them without the support of the running game, and then you blanket Adams over the top. I think Minnesota's going to come out there and handle that. I like the 2.5. Take that all day.
Yep. So 2 for 2. We're in agreement on the first 2 games. Yeah,
I feel like things are about to change though.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a Rodgers guy, but it's week by week. So
just for the record, I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, betting is very situational, right? It's any given Sunday. Even the best of teams could, fall off or have a bad game. So I wasn't impressed with the way they beat Seattle. Their defense has looked it's really good though. So that's the only reason I have some pause taking the Vikings, because their defense has looked solid the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
To shut out Russell Wilson, I know he's coming off off an injury, and he looked rusty. He was overthrowing receivers, but still to completely blanket Seattle to give them his first shutout game, I believe.
I think of his career.
Of his career, yeah.
Yep.
So that's their defense has been good, but Minnesota has a running game, and I think Dalvin Cook will.
Yeah.
They've been leaning on him, so I think he will fare well against the Packers.
And I think they can lean on him this game, and I think Kirk will have some big plays in there. I see a balanced win, and the defense will play well. Like I said, this is their turning point in their season. They're going to turn it around right here.
Okay. All right, and now on to the next game. We have the New Orleans Saints at the Philadelphia Eagles. Spread is 1.5 favoring Philadelphia. Saints coming off a close game, a 2-point loss to the Titans. It was a really good game. There was I think they were really in that game. There were some questionable calls favoring the Titans there, and then it was just a missed 2-point conversion away from going to overtime. And Philly's coming off a big win against your Denver Broncos.
Not that big of a win.
Denver.
They caught Denver in a good spot.
Yeah, that's true. They were Broncos were coming off a big win, in Dallas. This is tough to call. Eagles have been leaning on the run, so their offense has looked better actually without their starting running back. I forgot his name.
Is it Sanders their starter?
Miles Sanders, yeah. After it's weird because beginning of the season they were throwing the ball a lot with Hurts, and then for some reason Miles Sanders gets hurt, and then they lean on the run game, and now they're winning games. I don't know what the correlation is there, if they don't trust Sanders or if they just, Jordan Howard's looking good, Boston Scott's looking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this team has been very inconsistent, and Philly hasn't won a home game at all this year. So this is in Philly.
It's a good nugget.
Yeah, they've had some tough opponents. They've lost to Kansas City, Tampa Bay, the Chargers. So will this be their first win versus Trevor Siemian and the Saints? I will definitely not be betting this game because I can't get a good feel.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose, I will choose the Saints because I just like the coach more. I feel like, Philly has a rookie coach still. They haven't won a home game. I know Saints have Simeon, and I don't know if Kamara will be healthy for this game, but Mark Ingram has looked decent in his place, and he scored a touchdown last week. And Hurts, I don't know. He hasn't looked good this year, honestly. He's been putting up numbers because they've been trailing a lot, and he's been putting up a lot of garbage time stats, but Philly has been, leaning on the run. And I still will take the experienced coach with the Saints. So I'll take Saints plus 1.5.
Yeah, and this is the one where I'm going to differ with you on. And honestly, I don't have a feel for it either, and I wouldn't bet it. But just to be a contrarian here, I don't like the Saints on the road really ever. I know, of course, they win road games, but if you're going to get them, you're going to get them away from the Superdome. And I think this is going to be Philly's shot. Jalen Hurts really just impressed me against that Denver defense, which looked great against the Cowboys. And I know Dak was rusty, but they looked awesome. And then Jalen went out here and kind of lit them up here at home. So I think this momentum is going to continue. He's developed a rapport and a connection with Devontae Smith. And of course, they were teammates in college. They looked pretty good here against Denver. The running game kind of got going. They had a couple of key defenders get taken out due to injuries in the game, but I think one of them returned. Fletcher Cox, I think, ended up coming back into the game. So if these dudes are 100%, I like their chances in this game. I think they'll get their first home win of the season. And I know someone who coached with Sirianni in the offseason leading into training camp and all that. And he tells me that the guy is a bright guy, really knows his stuff. So I know he's a rookie, but hearing that high praise that I got from my connection with the Eagles, I'm going to go ahead and go with them here in this spot. I like it.
Okay.
Again, I wouldn't bet it, but I'm going to pick it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're in agreement that we both wouldn't bet this game. So that's, but
Too hairy.
yes. I mean, there's a reason the spread is 1.5. You know,
Yeah.
it's basically a pick 'em. So yeah. On to the next game. We have the Baltimore Ravens at Chicago Bears. Spread is Baltimore -6. Baltimore coming off a tough loss there on Thursday night to the Dolphins. I mean, it was, in my opinion, it was just a bad spot for them. They were coming off an overtime game, going to a short week, traveling to Miami. I mean, they looked out of sync, and now they're playing now, and now they have some time to bounce back, and they traveled to Chicago, and Justin Fields actually looked pretty decent last game versus Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm not high on Pittsburgh this year. I think Ben Roethlisberger looks a bit washed. His arm, it looks like his arm strength isn't there anymore. I don't know what happened from last year to this year, but yeah,
he lost too much weight.
I don't know, but Justin Fields has looked good. But you know, but this Baltimore defense, their defense hasn't looked good this year either. Their pass defense has looked shaky. Minnesota was right in the game, went to overtime. They got blown out by Joe Burrow and the Bengals at home. So 6 points is a lot on the road, even though it's a rookie quarterback. But their defense hasn't looked good. So I'm going to take the Chicago Bears here, +6. I'm going to take the points at home. I think, and Montgomery is back. He came back last game. And Herbert, I mean, even the backup running back looks good. And I know Allen Robinson wasn't involved as much this year, but they still have Mooney and Robinson. And I think Baltimore's pass defense isn't the same. Their defense isn't the defense that we, have been accustomed to give credit for. So they look shaky all year. I don't think they could shut down Fields. I mean, Miami exposed them a bit. I mean, Tua came in and he threw all over him. So I don't think you could take 6 points with the Ravens at this point. They haven't looked good, even in their wins. I feel like they've been some close games. Even I remember Carson Wentz took them to overtime too in a primetime game, and that was at home. So I am taking the Bears +6.
And I don't hate that. This is another one. Your pick shocks me here. When I saw that +6, I was like, man, I can't. I think I got to take that. That's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points.
I think Chicago is not only playing for their season here, they're playing for their coach. They're playing for their GM. And I think the players actually have a decent. The outsiders don't like Nagy. I think the players actually do. And
honestly, I don't like Nagy either.
I don't. Me neither. I think he's a QB killer.
Yeah, because I feel like, why did it take so long to unlock Justin Fields? He's a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, you've had Mitch Trubisky, so I'm sure you had plays where there's run pass option plays.
Yeah.
Why was he so intent on making him a pocket passer until the last couple of weeks? I feel like if he was a great coach, he would have already adapted his game plan accordingly to the strength of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge Nagy guy, but it looks like he's finally come around and started using him correctly. And he doesn't. I mean, honestly, first couple of weeks, he looked like he was an incompetent quarterback. Like you were questioning that draft pick.
I
But
didn't like his demeanor. He just looked like he didn't. He looked like Jay Cutler 2.0, just a guy who didn't care. But
yeah,
here in these past couple of weeks, while he's still been a little shaky because he's a rookie, you can see the flashes. You can definitely see the potential there, and it looks like he's having fun. So
yeah,
maybe this could be another get right situation where they're 3-6, so they're not really going to go anywhere. But I still like them +6 here.
yeah,
The Ravens, they just, maybe Miami exposed the way you beat them, just stacking the box. Of course, teams should know that by now, but I think Miami really just put the formula on the table for how to beat them, make them
yeah,
pass the ball.
yeah. They have the talent, right? They have the skill players.
Yeah.
Bateman looks like he's a promising wide
Yeah.
receiver. Hollywood Brown is there. Mark, you got Andrews.
Sammy Watkins there, right?
He is, but he had that huge fumble versus Miami where they returned it. Yeah, I don't think you just need to play coverage, I think, because they have Freeman as their running back right now, and they just cut Le'Veon Bell. So I wasn't impressed
Freeman
with
has looked
Le'Veon
good.
Bell. He did. He has the last couple games. But yeah, 6 is a lot of points on the road. I'm gonna have to take Chicago here. So another game we're in agreement.
We agree. Yeah.
Yep. All
Didn't
right.
see this coming.
All right. Next game, we have the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Jacksonville, where they are 6.5-point favorites. It opened at 7, I believe. Dropped half a point. Jacksonville is a hard team, I think. I don't like West Coast teams traveling east. I don't know what the trend is on that. I know years past, whenever there's a 1 o'clock time slot, West Coast teams traveling east, they didn't fare well against the spread. But plus, this is also a short week for the Niners since they played a Monday night game. But could I really take this Jacksonville team who struggles against the run, right? And 49ers they've just been leaning on the run. They have Mitchell, Wilson's back healthy as well, and Deebo Samuels looks really good. I heard some people comparing him to Percy Harvin 2.0 because of all the yak yards he's been getting. I am not a fan of Garoppolo, but if you don't have to, he's okay at managing games. If you just lean on the run and then have him just throw play action passes to Kittle or Samuels or Brandon Ayuk, then it's fine. This one's a hard. Situationally, I want to take Jacksonville +7 or +6.5. But I don't know. Can I really trust Urban Meyer? Do I take the situational bet or do I take San Francisco? Because I can't see Jacksonville stopping the run. Like that game versus the Colts this past week, Jonathan Taylor was tearing them up. They were blowing them out, and for some reason, Indy started passing the ball. They were like,
keep the ball.
I don't know, like why you want Wentz to showcase his arm. Like yeah, like I felt like if they just kept running the ball, it would have been a blowout. But then they started calling passing plays for Wentz, so I didn't like that. But I don't think Shanahan's gonna do that. I think he's gonna lean on Eli Mitchell. You saw the amount of times he called running plays. I think there was a stat that they didn't call a single running play on first down this past Monday, and I think I'm taking the Niners here just because I just think their run I just think Jacksonville can't stop 49ers run offense. And I think Shanahan's not going to make the mistake of just letting Garoppolo just throw the ball. So I'm taking the Niners -6.5 on the road.
This is one where while you're zigging, I'm going to zag again.
Okay.
I think the Niners just had their Super Bowl, at least for Kyle Shanahan, beating his old coaching mate from there in D.C. They really, I think they put everything they had into getting that win, and it showed. Of course, Matt Stafford and his trash self helped him out. I'll get to that later on what I think about that. But
hey,
I
he's
like
still okay. He's still better than Goff.
Do the Rams play this week? Let me see.
No, Rams are on a bye.
Okay, so we can get to it now then, since I brought it up.
Okay.
Deshaun Jackson is catching flack for that first pick. That was 100% on Matt Stafford. Deshaun Jackson was running a clear out route. He was not supposed to get the ball.
You mean
there.
Odell?
You know what I mean.
Odell.
Sorry, it's late. Sorry. Yeah. Excuse me. I don't have coffee either.
I understand.
Odell, he was running a clear out route. He was not supposed to get the ball there. There was not a look for him on that play, and he was double covered. He was just clearing off another receiver, and Stafford just wanted to show up his arm. Oh, let me throw this ball down the field into double coverage and got picked off. That's on him 100%. And that's the story of his career. The Rams are a great team missing a quarterback, and they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I don't think Stafford is good, but he's still an upgrade over Goff. Like anybody, I would take no one could be as. There's like few quarterbacks. I don't even know who I would take. Who I would take Goff over. Like if you watch that game, even the Pittsburgh game. How many passing yards did they have? I think they ran like 33 times with Swift. They're trying. The coach knows you can't pass the ball with Goff. It's like they have Hawkinson. He got one target all game. What are they doing? Like what is this play calling? They don't trust Goff. He makes dumb mistakes. He fumbles the ball. He's like, I don't know. To me, he's probably like the bottom 5 quarterback in the league. So Stafford, I'm not a fan of Stafford. I mean, he's been mediocre his whole career. He has arm strength. He doesn't make the right decisions. I don't think he's a good quarterback, but he's still an upgrade over Goff. Like Goff is, I don't know. Goff is still one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion. I mean, Stafford is probably like in the bottom half of the league as well, or middle of the pack.
Do you know the Rams record off the top of your head?
Is it 6-4? I think it's 6-4, but I could be wrong.
If they didn't make the playoffs, would you still say he's better than Goff?
Yeah, team
didn't make the playoffs.
They will make the playoffs.
If they didn't,
yeah, but no, if they didn't, then I would say he's probably the same as Goff.
And I'm sticking with that. They're the same guy.
They're not the same guy.
I'm not a Goff defender by any means.
Goff,
Stafford, I haven't seen. I've never been impressed. Never.
If Goff,
even in college.
Okay, if Goff doesn't win a single game this year, is he still the same guy as Stafford?
Yeah.
Because
the Lions don't win, just a disaster. I mean,
they are, but Stafford's won games for them.
I just watched them play, and I still can't name a receiver.
I think they have St. Brown or I don't know.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
St. Brown. That's the only guy Goff was targeting all game, I think. Yeah, you have Hawkinson. How does he not get a single catch? You know,
because they know that's all he had. The Steelers know that's all he has.
Yeah, but he only had one target, so I don't know. Goff isn't gonna. I don't know if they're gonna win a game this year.
Yeah. Wait. They play here. They might get.
No. You will see. Okay, when you watch that game, I want you to just watch Goff. Okay, every play he drops back to pass. He looks like he's on a panic. There was one play in overtime. He turned. He did a spin move. He did a spin move into the sack. Like, what are you doing?
He's a disaster. I mean,
he is. He's a disaster waiting to happen. He's like a ticking time bomb. Like,
but at least the Lions didn't give away a draft to get him.
I mean, I understand, but yeah, Rams are making the playoffs. They have too much talent not to make.
They better.
They need to. You know what their problem right now, I think, is they've gotten away from their run game. I don't know. Yeah, like you have Cooper Kupp. He's on pace
Cooper.
to have one of a monster season, but you can't just win games if you just rely on one individual. You got to have a balanced attack, and McVay was known for his run game. So I don't know
That's
why.
Supposed to be a run heavy scheme. That Shanahan scheme is supposed to be run heavy. So
I think he's just getting too pass happy because he has Stafford. He's like, oh, he's an upgrade over Goff, so let me just drop back and pass. And I think that's it's that's a fault. That's a mistake. He needs to go back to the run scheme. I hope they make adjustments over the spy and not try to just keep passing the ball even now since they signed Odell Beckham. But yeah, for them to be successful, they need to give the ball to Henderson, and then just play action or have those quick slants. You can't rely on Stafford to win you the game.
No, you got to hide him, just like Kirk. Got to hide him.
Yeah.
I'll take Kirk over Stafford, though. Frankly, but
I don't know. They're about the same to me. Depends on what time of day. But
I think in the right scheme, Kirk would be elite. So I'm not even going to go down that road.
Right scheme,
And if San Francisco had gotten him, they tried to trade for him with Washington. Snyder wouldn't give him to Shanahan. He didn't want to do him any favors. Right. If he had gotten into that scheme, he would have taken him to the Super Bowl.
I don't think so. But
because he's perfect for that scheme, just perfect. But back to this, I was picking the Jacksonville and Niners game. You picked San Fran. He's covering that, right?
Yeah, -6.5. Usually, I don't like taking road favorites that are 6.5 is also kind of tricky.
Yeah, and what let us down that whole diatribe about Stafford and all that was the fact that I said it was the Niners Super Bowl this past week.
It was.
But
Niners, Shanahan's undefeated against McVay. He's 5-0 now. So
nice. If I would have bet that. I would have gone in hard on that.
Yeah, I actually
liked it anyway.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I took the money line. I sprinkle some on the money line.
But I like Jacksonville plus 6.5.
The things that worries me about the San Francisco Jacksonville game is first of all, I don't like teams that that dominated during primetime game because everyone saw that game. Plus the public is on San Francisco.
All over.
So I wouldn't be betting this game personally.
No.
Unless
you're gonna tease Jacksonville.
Maybe, but I'm probably not gonna bet this game at all. But it would be a trap spot. West Coast team going east short week. Had a dominant performance on Monday night. But yeah, I'm not betting that game. So, all right, on to the next. We have Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions heading to Cleveland, and Cleveland is a 10-point favorite.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. But Baker's out, right? He's injured. I actually like Cleveland more if Baker's not playing because Baker. I'm very down on Baker. Like I used to be a Baker fan, unknowingly. He looked good in college. He looked good. He looked promising in his rookie year, but even this past week, I was on the Browns
he might play. He's questionable.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't play. But it's Jared Goff, so I can't take Jared Goff. I can't put my money on Jared Goff. But I did take Detroit at this past week at Pittsburgh because it was Mason Rudolph. Yeah, you can't. But this game I am definitely not betting. I'm not teasing. I'm not doing anything with this game because I don't like both the quarterbacks. Browns were. So I was on the Browns last week. I was on them plus 2.5 at New England. First drive of the game, they run the ball like I thought they would. Dearness Johnson had like 50 yards that first drive, and then they scored a touchdown to Austin Hooper. And they look good. And then I don't know what is wrong with their defense. Their defense didn't show up, or if Belichick just does well scheming against his old team. But Patriots answered right back with the touchdown. And for some reason, instead of sticking with the run, they let Baker throw, and he throws a pick, and he almost throws a pick six. Patriots score on the next drive, 14-7, and then it's just a snowball from there because Cleveland starts to abandon their run game, which is their strength, and then they played right into New England's strength, which is their pass defense. So, but yeah, as to this game, Goff, 10-point underdogs. 10 is a lot of points. I can't. Do you know if Chubb is back for this game? No, he's out indefinitely with COVID. Dearness Johnson is good. I think he's good. Problem is, what is Baker going to turn the ball over? Like, they could. Is the back door open for this game? 10 points. Do I trust Goff to get a garbage touchdown and maybe backdoor this game? Like, I like DeAndre Swift a lot. They gave him 33 carries last game. They didn't utilize him in the pass game as much as they usually do. But 10 points. But yeah, I mean, I'll just take Cleveland because I think their defense will get to Goff. I think Goff is going to just make some silly turnovers this game, and then he's going to be forced to pass the ball, and we know what happens when he has to drop back and pass. So yeah, I think So I'm predicting a positive game script for Cleveland. They'll take the lead, and once they have the lead, they could actually run the ball. And then if they do that, get the ball out of Baker's hands. So Cleveland -10.
Keeping the ball out of Baker's hands and leaning on the run game, I think that'll keep it to a low-scoring affair. And I'm going to work under the assumption that Baker is playing. I agree that if Keenum started, I think they go ahead and cover. But assuming he's questionable and going to play, I'm going to go ahead and pick Detroit +10. I see a low-scoring game. I think Detroit got a taste of what it feels like to not lose this week, and I think that they'll bring a better attitude into this week. And again, another situation where they're really playing for the coach's job. I think if they go on 0-16, Campbell's out, and I know the players love him. So I think they'll come out there and try to keep it close, but they're not going to win.
I mean, they got a tie. That's a win in my book for Detroit.
They got a taste of
it.
So.
They didn't lose.
Right.
They didn't lose. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Their goal is done for the year. They didn't go winless.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, they could still go winless, but they didn't. Lose every game.
Yeah. So Detroit +10 for me.
Okay. Another game that we're in disagreement. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Next game. This is a big game for me. We have the Washington football team, WFT, coming off a big upset of Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champs. Heading to Carolina, where Carolina is a 3.5-point favorite, who is also coming off a big win in Arizona with the return of Cam Newton. First game for Cam at home. I'm pretty sure he's going to start this game. I don't think they're going to let PJ Washington or whoever the quarterback is start. I think Cam will start. It's going to be a big atmosphere, a huge atmosphere, I'm sure, to welcome back Cam. And plus, this is also Ron Rivera returning to Carolina, where he's coached for all those years. I mean, I can't bet against my team here, so I'm going to take the Washington football team. I know Chase Young is out. He's out for the season, torn ACL. But I feel like Rivera will be able to scheme against Cam Newton, and we don't really know how he's going to look for a full game. I know he's an upgrade over Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold is awful. But I trust Ron Rivera to make adjustments, and he's coached Cam Newton, right? And
Mhm.
even when Brady went against Belichick, he didn't look. That was a close game. That came down to a missed field goal at the end, I believe. So I think it's going to be a field goal game one way or another. I don't trust Heineke, but he could be up and down. Carolina's defense is what scares me. So hopefully they could lean on Gibson. He had a huge game last week versus Tampa Bay, which is one of the top rush defenses in the league. So yeah. So I'm predicting a 3-point game, one way or another, and I am gonna take the Washington football team. I'll take the points on the road.
I am going to take Carolina here to cover. I think it'll be a close game. Like you brought up Carolina's defense, I think that'll be the X factor in the game. Keeping things close, but then at the end, Cam, is going to pull things out. With McCaffrey being healthy, that's going to make a pretty big difference there too. So Cam will be able to, make his plays with his legs, and then with his arm, he can get McCaffrey involved in the passing game. Him and DJ Moore have a rapport. Him and Robbie Anderson kind of hit it off too. Through the touchdown pass to him, they seem to get along well. So he has those weapons if he needs them. I just don't think he'll need to in this game. They'll be able to lean on the run game and use his legs too to go and pull out a close game, covering that 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. McCaffrey looked a bit he didn't look 100% last week. He looked like he was on a pitch count. So I mean, I don't know. This Washington football team is a tough team to dissect. I think
Definitely.
they're so Jekyll and Hyde, and I think that comes down to Heineke, right? Because some games he looks like he's a formidable quarterback. Some games he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing out there. So
I like the under too. I'll take Carolina in the under.
Okay. So
bonus play for you.
Dale is on Carolina in the under. I am on the Washington football team, and I am not touching the points. 43 is, it's at 43. So I don't know. I mean, I would lean under, but I don't have a huge lean against it. So, all right, on to the next game. We have the Indy at Buffalo. And Buffalo is favorite 7. It looks like Buffalo woke up last game versus the Jets. Josh Allen actually showed up. So Buffalo's one of those teams, when they look good, they look really good. And when they look bad, they look really bad. So like, for example, that game versus Jacksonville, Josh Allen just looked out of sync. They couldn't even score a touchdown. And then last week versus the Jets, it looks like they looked unstoppable, and they had, I think, Mike White threw 4 interceptions, or they had 4 interceptions on the guy.
That's my guy.
So, I mean, but their defense has been solid this year, right? Even when they lost to Jacksonville, they only gave up 9 points. Yeah, I mean, the only game they looked kind of shaky was versus that Tennessee game where Henry was looked unstoppable, but it's hard to stop Derrick Henry when he gets going. And so we have Indy +7 at Buffalo. I am going to take the Buffalo Bills because Carson Wentz is not good. He's good against bad teams. Jonathan Taylor, I think he's a top 5 running back in the league, but the way that I see this game going is that I think Buffalo's going to take the lead early, and then they'll force Indy to have to throw the ball a lot, and that's not a good recipe for Indy to cover the spread. So, and Buffalo has done a good job of limiting pass offense. Their receivers, I think they're top 5 in the league in the pass defense. So I am going to take Buffalo -7 here at home.
Yep, and I agree. The public's all over Indy for some reason. I think the Buffalo's going to come out and employ the same strategy that Miami had against the Ravens this past Thursday night. Stack the box, stop that run. We shut down the run game, try to make Carson Wentz beat you. I'll take that all every day of the week. Carson Wentz is not going to beat anybody. So I think that's what they're going to do here. Then they're at home too. So I think they're going to be fine at 7 points. They'll cover that easily. I see them winning by 14 plus. Easy
It's
win.
also I also feel like this is a good game to tease. You could tease Buffalo down to -1, and then pair it up with some other game. But this is a good teaser spot for Buffalo. I don't see them losing at home to Indy. This Indy team,
no chance.
Yeah, this Indy team. I mean, they show flashes, but they look good versus who? The Jets, Jacksonville. They started off hot. Tennessee game was actually a pretty close game, but Carson Wentz. So, yeah. So yeah, we're both in agreement there. We're both on Buffalo.
Yep.
Easy
cover.
Easy cover. All right, and next we have the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans -10.5. Houston coming off a bye. Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback. He did not look good last time we saw him in Miami. But that could have been due to rust. They're coming off a bye week, so I presume he's going to look better than he did his last time out. 10.5 is a lot of points. No Julio Jones, no Derrick Henry, Tannehill. I don't know. Were you impressed by his performance last week? I don't think he looked that great.
No.
Personally. But they are at home. 10.5 is a lot of points. I usually don't take spreads that are over 10 or double digits generally, because a lot of things could happen for that not to cover. But I will not be betting on this game. I don't like. Yeah. Plus, Houston's coming off a bye. I don't know what they schemed up. So they could actually show some fight here. And Tennessee, they're on a 6-game win streak. I definitely see them winning, but I don't know if they'll cover the 10.5. I'm gonna lean with the Houston Texans here plus 10.5.
This will be another one where we differ. I think this is going to be the game where Adrian Peterson actually joins us this season. He's going to come out of the shadows and take the reins of this running game here. I know I'm an Adrian Peterson guy, but I think that this is going to be the game that they use to get him where he needs to be for their playoff run. That might sound crazy, but they're going to need him. And I think that with them being 8-2 coming into this game, this is going to be the one where they're going to put the pedal to the metal and really take charge here in this playoff race, try to get that home field advantage towards the end. They know how important this game is. There's not going to be any overlooking this game. This is not going to be a trap in anywhere. They're going to go out there and cover that 10.5. The public's all over this, and I usually don't like that, but I'm going to go with it here. I feel good about it. I think they're going to take this one 10.5.
Okay, it's a division game, right? So that's that. I don't like taking double digits, especially in a division game.
Yeah.
Last 2 times they played, and I know it's with Deshaun Watson, but it was a 1-score game. I don't think Tyrod Taylor is bad. I think he's
not.
He's an upgrade over Davis.
He's okay.
Yeah. I think he's a serviceable backup quarterback, and I'll take the points. But definitely something not that I'll be rushing to bet.
Maybe you can throw that in that tease with that last one we talked about.
I don't know if
tease.
You mean Tennessee -4.5? Tease it down to 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like taking anything over 3 in the teaser. So if it was like 9, and you tease it down to 3, because the only key number you're actually getting is -7. So I usually like when I'm teasing, I usually like the points to cover 2 key numbers, which is 3, 7,
Mm.
for instance. So I don't know if you're getting really good value by teasing it down to 4 or 4.5. All right. So the next game we have the Miami Dolphins coming off a big win, 3-point favorites, heading to the New York Jets. Miami's on a win streak. They won the last 2 games, I believe, right? They beat Baltimore, they beat Houston. Only a 3-point favorite, divisional game. Is your boy starting at quarterback? Is it Mike White? Who are
That's
they
what I was
going
just
with?
looking at. It looks like he is. I don't think Zach Wilson's ready yet.
They're not putting Flacco out there. Flacco came in at the end. He threw a touchdown to Elijah
See,
Mitchell.
I'm still a Joe Flacco guy. I saw what he did to the Broncos here way back when in that playoff win. I still think he could get it done, but I'm not even going to go down that road. I will be here all
Okay.
night if I do that.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be Mike White out there, and I think. Well, I'll let you go ahead and finish your pick, but
Yeah, I'm
I like
gonna. I like this game a lot. Actually, I'm actually gonna take Miami -3 on the road. Their defense has looked like they improved a lot the past couple of weeks. Granted, they got Baltimore on a short week. They beat Houston. They made Tyrod Taylor. He looked pretty bad that game, but that was his first game, so it could be rust. But their defense looks like it's might have turned a corner on based on their last 2 performances. Miami has actually covered their last 6 times versus the Jets, going back to the past 3 years. So, yeah, and I think Miami wins this, and I don't think it's going to be close. Jets run defense has looked awful. So, but I don't know if Gaskins is a viable running back in the league. I have my reservations about him, but I think Tua's going to start. I think he's an upgrade over Brissett. And I think Miami still has enough weapons there. They have Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki. He's looked good. So yeah, taking my Miami -3 on the road.
Yeah, this is a pretty drab game. It's not really worth getting all in. So I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Wilson gets back out there. But I like Miami in the under here. I think Miami covers easily.
Okay, game in agreement. All right, now we have the afternoon games, the 4:00. We have Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals heading to the Las Vegas Raiders.
This is a tough one.
I don't think it's tough at all, but Cincinnati coming off the bye. I'm not as you know, I'm not a Derek Carr guy.
Top 5 QB.
Derek Carr and Matt Stafford is like the same. There's what is different about them? Carr threw some bad passes against the Chiefs where he just threw it up there. I don't know why. He just didn't take his check down like he normally does because they didn't utilize Kenyon Drake or Jacobs. Raiders got a bit unlucky on the defensive end. I feel like they could have a couple interceptions on Mahomes that were like 50-50 balls, but then the receiver or Darrell Williams wanted it more and just snatched it out of their head. And I think there was also a pass that the cornerback dropped where he could have had an interception. So, but Joe Burrow, Bengals coming off a bye. They're coming off a couple losses, one to Cleveland and one to the Jets at New York Jets. So, I don't know. I don't think this Las Vegas Raiders team is that good. I mean, they go into the same pattern every year. I feel like they start off hot, and then they regress back to their skill level, which is just a mediocre, maybe an 8-8 team or a 9-8 team. And I think Burrow has showed a lot this year. He has a good connection with Jamar Chase, and I think Bengals will take the win here and cover the spread.
Agreed. I think this will look a lot like that Cowboys Falcons game. I think the Bengals are going to come out there and house them. They're coming off the bye, got all their kinks worked out from the previous loss. The Raiders just look like they're falling apart. Of course, they're going to have a new coach next season. There's not really much to play for left in this season. Too much drama this season. So Bengals are going to come out there and then take control from the start. I'll take the Bengals in the over.
Yeah, and sorry, the spread is -1. I don't know if Bengals are favored 1 in this spot. So I like the Bengals. Dale likes the Bengals. We're both in agreement there. So all right. And then the next game, perhaps the game of the week, we have the Dallas Cowboys going to the Kansas City.
This is a tough one.
Kansas City -2.5. Yeah, it is a tough one. What team are we going to get from both ends, right? Because we saw Dallas put up a stinker 2 weeks ago. Versus Denver, and then Kansas City has looked awful all year, and then they finally look like the team that they should have been, right? Or they finally look like the team that everyone imagined them to be last week, where Mahomes finally looked like a top quarterback in the league, throwing for 5 touchdowns. Is it? I don't know. Is everything fixed? Is it all? Is everything back to normal? Is Kansas City the team that the Super Bowl team that from last year, or are they still, are they still the turnover machine that they were previously in the season? I know their running back has come back, Hilaire, I believe. I think Edwards-Helaire, I think he'll be back for this game. Dallas has actually been leaning on the run a lot this year. They have a good dual threat with Zeke and Pollard. And then Dak has been playing off of that. And they have so many weapons, right? With Layman Cooper and then even Schultz. I'm going to take the road team here, +2.5. I don't know. I know Mahomes looked good this past week, but there were still a couple passes where I thought could have been intercepted or could have been a turnover. And Dallas has actually been really good at causing turnovers. I think Diggs is leading the league in interceptions. And I would, if I was betting a prop bet, I would bet that he would get an interception this game with the amount of times that Chiefs has turned the ball over this year. I think Mahomes is leading the league in interceptions.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's how broken the Chiefs offense has looked earlier this year. So I don't know if it's all fixed for one game, but I'm taking the points with Dallas +2.5, and I don't like betting Dallas. Like, they're my nemesis, but the way they've been playing, it's hard for me to bet against them. And plus they've covered every game this year besides that Broncos game. So, yeah.
Yep, I agree. Again, like you, I hate picking Dallas, but I think their defense is not the best in the world, but I think their pass rush has what it takes to get after Mahomes and pressure him into some mistakes here. I think they've got enough in their secondary to not give up the big plays. Their linebacking core is usually pretty solid, so they should be able to keep the clamps on Kelsey there. And again, with Diggs and their secondary, stop Tyreek Hill from getting over the top. I like Dallas +2.5. That over-under is pretty high. I've been picking the over-under in the last couple.
It is really high.
With that, I'll take the under. I'll take Dallas in the under.
Yeah, if I had to choose, I would take the under. I don't like taking overs for anything above 50.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle coming off +2.5 is the spread. Arizona's favorite 2.5. Is Kyler Murray playing? I don't know what his status is. I think he's listed as questionable. Hopkins is also listed as questionable. That's kind of huge if they don't play, right?
Just as it's going to be close. So
Yeah, and in Seattle coming off a goose egg, scoring 0 points in Green Bay, I feel like they're going to bounce back with the vengeance here. I don't see Russell Wilson putting up 2 stinkers in a row. I would play Seattle. I'll play their team total over for this game. I actually like this a lot. I don't see. I mean, Arizona is dealing with too much injuries, and I don't think they're going to risk coming, making the players come back if they're not 100% healthy. Rams losing the game also helped them out. So to winning the division. So I don't see them rushing back any players. So yeah, I like Seattle here. I like Seattle a lot. I like them getting points at home. I don't think Russell Wilson's gonna. Yeah, I don't think Russell Wilson's. I think it's an overreaction. I mean, he looked rusty. It was his first game back. And Arizona's too banged up, I think, and I like the points, and I'm taking Seattle at home. I feel like they come back, bounce back, win this game outright. I'll take Seattle money line, their team total over. That'll be my play.
Yeah, agreed. If Kyler plays, he's not going to be Kyler because he's got an ankle injury and he's not necessarily a runner. I mean, he can run and he scrambles around, but if he can't be himself, then they've got no shot. If Colt plays, they've got no shot. So, again, I'm all over Seattle too. I like Seattle in the under. To me, this is the easiest game on the board.
I actually like the over. I think Seattle's going to put up 30 points minimum by themselves. So,
So we can differ on that then.
Okay. And then we move on to the Sunday night game, Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's the Mason Rudolph Pittsburgh Steelers going into the LA Chargers minus Chargers favor 5.5. Steelers are one of those teams that I always bet if they're the underdog.
No, he's playing. Big Ben's playing.
Is he playing?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel a bit better. Steelers, they're one of those teams that I always bet if they're the underdog, and if they're the favorite, then I fade because they always play to their competition. They're one of those teams that always plays to their competition. You saw how they played against the Bears. They almost lost that game, but then they're capable of beating Buffalo in Buffalo. So it's like, what is this team? I feel like they just play to their competition, regardless. So getting points out, plus it's a primetime game. Primetime. So I've mentioned this stat before. Primetime underdogs. If you look at the Thursday, Saturday, Sunday night games, the underdogs have gone 2-1 to the spread or better, or 3-0, and every week this season besides one. And even this past week, Miami won. They covered. I know Kansas City covered as a favorite, but then 49ers won, covered. So once again, it went 2-1 primetime game. So it's a primetime game. I'm taking Pittsburgh plus 5.5. Not too much to handicap there. Just Pittsburgh as an underdog, primetime game underdog. I'm on Pittsburgh.
Again, we agree. Dang it. The Chargers have just looked too inconsistent. I can't pick them in the spot. Yeah, something's wrong.
They started off hot and they have faded a bit. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. I don't know. I mean, Herbert hasn't looked the same. I've listened to some other podcasts where they're saying it's majority is on the play calling. Like they're not.
I can see that.
They're not taking the shots downfield, I guess, because there's been a correlation with Herbert's performance and how Mike Williams has also dropped off. So at the beginning of the year, they were clicking there, and they look like one of the top offenses in the league. But the last 4 weeks, Mike Williams has been ineffective, and same with Herbert. So I will gladly take the points here in this spot.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, and now to the last game, Monday Night Football. We have the New York Giants at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Look at that line.
Tampa Bay favored 11. This is a big spread. I know Tampa Bay's coming off. Coming off that loss, back-to-back losses actually.
Yeah.
I don't know what the stat is for Tom Brady when he's coming off back-to-back losses, but he's playing the Giants, who he lost the Super Bowl twice to, if you guys remember. The Giants are coming off a bye week. They're saying it looks likely that Barkley is going to play. He's trending upwards to playing. 11 is a lot of points. Tampa Bay's defense hasn't looked good. So I will gladly take the points. Plus, it's another primetime game. So, plus 11 or plus 11, plus 11 and a half, whatever it is. I'll take the Giants.
Yeah, and the public's pretty split down the middle on this one too. It's just that line is so huge. Antonio Brown is not going to play. He's not looking anywhere close to healthy, and they haven't won a game without him this season. So I can't pick them getting. Minus 11. I got to take the Giants here. I hate the Giants. I don't like Daniel Jones, but that's just too many points. Got to take.
I don't like Danny Dimes.
No, I sure don't.
You like
so much potential, but I don't think he'll ever live up.
Do you like Jared Goff over Danny Dimes?
That's closer than it should be.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's
Daniel
close.
Jones over Goff.
Yeah. Who would you take Goff over? Let me ask you that. What quarterback would you take Goff over? Tua? I think I still would take Tua.
I think he's hit his ceiling already.
But Tua has won games. You know what I mean? Like, he's won games.
Goff has won. He's gone to a Super Bowl.
That's in Sean McVay's system. I mean, this year, like,
hey, Stafford is not going to use that system to get to a Super Bowl. So,
yeah,
who else?
Who was their running back when they went to the Super Bowl?
Gurley?
Who was it? Was it Gurley? Todd Gurley? Yeah, he was one of the top running backs.
He was hurt too.
League.
That's when he got hurt.
Oh, okay. And then Henderson was a backup?
Okay. And Gurley was never the same after that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's. I mean, maybe I'll take Goff over Mike White. Like, I don't know who I would take Goff over, right? Over a starting quarterback in the league. If I go down the line, who would I take Goff over?
Heineke?
No, I would take Heineke over Goff. Heineke actually tries to make plays,
I think if I had a 16-game season, I'd take a quarterback to run those 16 games. I think I'd take Goff over Heineke for 16 games.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't.
In a spot, I'll take Heineke.
Heineke still shows flashes of, like, he can make accurate passes. But he beat Tom Brady, man. He beat the best quarterback. He beat the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see.
He did.
Jared Goff lost to the GOAT in the Super Bowl. He looked like a deer in headlights during that Super Bowl. And that's how he looks.
And that's because they couldn't lean on their running game like they had been all season.
Yeah. And when you have to rely on Goff, this is what happens. So and the problem with Detroit is they don't have the lead, right? So they have to lean on Goff, and then you can't win the game. So all right. So we're both on the Giants plus 11 for Monday night.
Yeah.
All right. So that comes to the conclusion of all the games on the docket. Now to end the podcast, so we'll give out our favorite picks, our favorite pick, our favorite underdog, and I guess a 3-team teaser.
Okay, right. I can do that.
Right.
Let me see the underdog. That's pretty easy. Yeah.
Yeah. We should keep track of our best bets. This is the bet to double down on. This is the our official play, right? The official
Yeah.
play. So official, all I need is a whistle. That's little wings. All right. So my favorite bet this week, I'll start it off, is Seattle. Seattle plus 2.5. They shouldn't be getting points at home. Arizona's too banged up. I see a response from Russell Wilson. I like it even more that the public is all over Arizona. Like, I don't understand that at all. I don't think I would even take a money line. You could pair it as my underdog money line play. I don't see Seattle losing this game. I don't see Russell putting up two stinkers. I think they'd score over 30 on this Arizona team. Yeah, they don't look the same without Kyler and Hopkins. And then Chase Edmonds is also hurt. So yeah, that's my favorite play. And as for my underdog, I'll choose a different game because I won't choose Seattle as my underdog play as well. Let's see. Underdog play. I will go with all right. I will go with Minnesota Vikings plus 2.5 at home. Once again, divisional game. Rodgers didn't look good last week. I don't know where his head is at after the whole COVID incident. I think I've seen Kirk Cousins beat Aaron Rodgers in the Washington as a member of the Washington football team. I was actually at that game. It was a primetime game, I believe. So yeah, I'm gonna take Kirk Cousins. I like it that it's a day game. It's not a primetime game. So that'll be my underdog play. And for teasers, 3-team teaser. Definitely taking Buffalo down to -1. I don't see them losing that game. I like, let's see. All right, let's do this. Patriots -1 Thursday night. I don't see Patriots losing to Atlanta, who's also banged up. Their defense is too good. Taking Buffalo down to -1. And then for the third leg of the teaser, I am taking, I should probably take an underdog, right? Because I took two favorites. Yeah, let's tease Seattle. Let's throw that in there, plus 8.5. I don't see them losing that game, so I definitely don't see them losing by double digits or by two scores. So Seattle plus 8.5, Patriots -1, and Buffalo -1.
Good deal. My favorite pick of the week is the Bengals over the Raiders. I think they're just going to destroy them, so I don't have any doubts about that game whatsoever. You can cash out your 401k or take out a second mortgage, throw it all on that one. That's a sure thing.
Yeah,
lock of the week.
Just a disclaimer: don't take financial advice from us.
Yeah, what you choose to do, you're an adult. You make your own decisions.
Yeah, you make your own decisions. If
This
you're
is
not
just
an adult, then
this is just my feeling. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take out
Right.
my 401k, and so that's just me. My underdog, I like the Giants. Like I
What's
said,
the
that
love?
numbers. Yeah, that
No,
number is
you
just
gotta
too big.
take the underdog money line play.
Oh, it's, okay.
Money line, yeah.
Well,
The underdog plays a money line play.
gotcha. You took my one with Seattle. That was the one I was actually going to go
No,
with.
I mean you could take Seattle. I took
that
Seattle as a
was your
favorite.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's plus
I'll
115
change
Seattle.
mine
I
anyway
think.
because I still like Dallas to win outright. So
Okay,
I'll go with Dallas there.
Dallas
And then,
plus 120 is a baby dog. I took Minnesota, which is let me check. Let me check what the odds are on that. Minnesota is plus 120 as well. So we're both on plus 2.5 underdogs here to win outright. And your teaser?
Detroit. New York Giants.
Plus 17.
And Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh plus 11.5. So going with an underdog teaser. I like it.
I like it.
All right. So that's the conclusion of the first episode of the Sports Double Down podcast. If you're here, if you made it here all the way to the end, good luck to your bets, and hope you guys
Subscribe, like.
see you guys next week. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you all for joining us. It was fun.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. We'll see y'all.